Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing, talking about section 5.3, our new unit, congruent triangles and congruent polygons. So we're talking about how to identify if something is congruent and then how to identify corresponding sides and angles. So the definition, it's two geometric figures are congruent if they have exactly the same shape and size. They have to be the exact same shape and size. So look at this. Over here we have congruence. We have some quadrilaterals over here. They are all the same size. They all have 4 sides. They have the same shape, size, and everything's the same. Over here we've got 2 triangles. All right, they're not the same size. One's smaller, one's larger. And then we also have, again, a 4-sided quadrilateral, but they're not the same size. One's a little bit wider and one's a little bit more narrow. So congruent means they have to be identical. So here it says when two figures are congruent, their corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. And how we show that is you're going to see some congruent markings like tick marks on the sides or those little swoosh marks in the angles. So here's an example. It tells us if a triangle ABC is congruent triangle PQR, lists the 6 congruent statements about the figure. So notice if you look over here, they're telling us they're congruent, which means they're the exact same shape. If you look at your pictures, they're both triangles, and they're the exact same size, which they are. To figure out the corresponding angles, you look for the angles that have the exact same markings. So if I'm going to start here, angle B has 1 swoosh mark. Okay. If I look at triangle PQR, the angle that has the exact same swoosh mark is Q. So I would say angle B is congruent to angle Q. Okay, I'm gonna look for the angle that has 2 swoosh marks. A has 2. Okay, the corresponding one is angle P that also has 2. So I would say angle A is congruent to angle P. And lastly, I've got angle C that has 3 and angle R that also has 3. So I would say angle C is congruent to angle R. Now we're going to list the corresponding sides. Sides are shown with those little tick marks. All right, so I've got side AB has 1 tick mark. The triangle that has the exact same open, this one is side PQ. So I would say side AB is congruent to side PQ. BC has the 2 tick marks and QR has the same 2 tick marks. So I would say BC is congruent to QR. And lastly, I have side AC that has 3 tick marks and PR that has 3 tick marks. So AC is congruent to PR. So that's how you show corresponding angles and correspondence based on those symbols. For this one, it says, example 2, given the figure, give a congruent statement if possible. So let's look to see if they're congruent. So let's see. I see that I've got angle E and S have the same markings. T and F have the same markings. D and R have the same markings. We've got a 1 tick mark, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they have all the same markings, so they are going to be congruent. So it does not matter how you name the first triangle. So we can name that first triangle whatever we want. I'm going to name that first triangle FED. FED is congruent to triangle something. So for this, I went from F to E to D. So if I look at F, I have to figure out what angle over here is corresponding. Now, I can't just go based off of looks. So look at this. The top angle here is F. The top angle over here is R. But look, do they have the same markings? F has 3 tick marks. R has 2. So are those angles actually congruent? No. So you need to look at the second triangle and figure out what angle has the exact same markings, those 3 tick marks. Well, T does. So T corresponds with F. Then we went to E. E has 1 tick mark. So over here, S has the 1 tick mark there, so S. And then we go up to the one that has the 2, which is R. So I said triangle FED is congruent to triangle S or TSR. And again, it doesn't matter how you name the first one, it matters how you name the second one. You have to name it in the same order. Over here, it says if quadrilateral NPLM is congruent to quadrilateral EFGH, determine the values of X and Y and fill in all the missing measurements. So if you look at this one, this one doesn't have really any markings, all right? But we can also go by the name. So how do you go by the name? Angle N and E are going to be the exact same. So I'm going to put a 1 swoosh mark on N and 1 on E. so those are going to be the same. P and F are going to be the same, so I'm going to do 2 on those, P and F. L and G are going to be the same. 2, 3. Okay. And M and H are going to be the same. 2, 3, 4. So I know those angles are going to kind of correspond. You can also do the same thing for the sides. So I know that side NP is going to be the same side as EF. So N to P is going to be the same as E and F. I know P and L is going to be the same as F and G. P and L, F and G. I know L and M are going to be the same as G and H. L, M, G, H. I forgot to put 2 tick marks on that last one. Sorry, guys. Which means my final sides here, all right, M and N are going to be the same as E and H. So you can go by those namings if it doesn't have those markings. So from here, we have to figure out for X and Y. So my first quadrilateral doesn't have any X's or Y's. So I'm looking at my second one. So the first thing I see over here is this 2X minus 3. So I've got 2X minus 3 equals. You figure out which side it should be equal over here. So we have the marking of those 3 tick marks. So if I look over here, the 3 tick marks are right to this side, which is marked as 8. So it should equal 8. So I can add 3 to both sides. So 2x equals 11. Divide both sides by 2. So I get 11 over 2, which is 5.5. All right, the next one we have to find y here. So if I look at y is right here in angle E. It's 7y plus 9 equals, all right, that is angle E. That has the one swoosh mark. Over here, the angle that corresponds with that is angle N, which is 72. So I put in 72. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, so I get 7y equals 63. Divide by 7, and I get y equals 9. So we found X and Y. It says fill in all the missing measurements. So I can see kind of what I'm missing. So I know that L is 110 degrees. L corresponds with G, so G is also 110 then. I know that P is 87, all right, and that corresponds with F, so 87. I know PN, which is that 10 right there, corresponds with EF, which is also going to be 10 then.